Barakatah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Kohaloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah HaKodash. Shalom is Brother Yashima Zakar from the Israelite Report, IsraeliteReport.com. Upon my watch, all praises are definitely due to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to all the brothers spread across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth and sincerity, those that truly believe and want to get the hell up out of here. I want to go to Revelation 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And this is the most important thing right now, the mark of the beast, because everything that's going on right now, all these wars and rumors of wars, the most important thing that you can talk about at this moment is the mark of the beast, because that's the signal. That's the true signal. That's the go ahead. That's the green light. All right. And he calls it all. So all of your celebrities, the same way they did with the jab. You know, you had Juvenile, you had other different rappers rapping about take the jab and do this and that and take that vax. Okay? There was a heavy propaganda machine, heavy propaganda campaign around the jab. And it's going to be even more so, like to the point, like you won't believe when it comes to this mark of the beast, the microchip. Anybody that's telling you anything different, they sold out. Period. At this point, they sold out. Because even niggas in the world know that the mark of the beast is the microchip. There's no excuse for this shit now. So this one is going to be, you know, this recording is going to be heavy on the mark of the beast. And I have a clip that I want to go into. But I do want to, before I get to the clip, I do want to say this. This is very important. Revelation 13:16 again. And he calls it all. Both small and great, rich and poor. So that means there's not going to be any escape out of this. There's no way out of this. And this is when you're going to see who's real and who's not. Because you got niggas that hate me, that think I ain't shit, right? And that's cute. That's cute. They don't know the sacrifices I've made quietly in my life, on my daily walk. They don't know. But motherfucker, excuse me, Salakia. But let's be real. I told you, when the shit hits the fan, and you actually have to decide whether or not you're going to take this chip, all that, I'm the most righteous and I know all the precepts and I know all the break. That shit going out the window, my nigga. All that's going out the window. Now You're in a space where it's you and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And did the Lord choose you or not? I've been through some shit where I don't have a choice but to believe. Some shit I can't speak on. Because I would sound crazy as I already sound crazy. I would really sound crazy. There's gonna be a lot of niggas who you thought were built like that, and these motherfuckers wasn't built for shit. When this shit really collapse, because that's what's gonna happen, in order for this mark of the beast, this mandatory microchip to take place, there has to be a complete collapse of society. That means all the good things that you have are going to be taken away, and you're going to have to sign on to this beast system. You're going to have to actually make that decision. You don't have the time you think you have. Because fuck me. Yashama is your least of your problems. Nigga. I got a clip, and this is going to be heavy on the mark of the beast today. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. The hour of temptation is coming. And it's coming a lot sooner than a lot of you know. Let me get into the clip. I'm going to play this clip, and then I'll come back and I'll comment on it.
We have to remember they're rolling out 6G now. Trump just signed an order to accelerate the deployment of 6G. This is going to interface with biological implants, it says in the order. So these are brain chips that will interact with 6G and artificial intelligence. There was a recent systematic review paper that came out looking at the biological effects of 5G wavelengths, 5G frequencies. It changes the function of the cell. It changes the gene expression of the cell, so the cells start to act differently. It can cause DNA damage in these animals. It can cause tumor growth in these experiments. It causes neurological changes, biochemical changes. So the proteins being produced in these animals are changing when they're exposed to this. And, again, we can just keep going down the list.
About 6G earlier, which is around 2030, I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface. Wow. Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
In the clip, Trump is fast tracking 6G, and he just so happened to be the president that fast tracked 5G during the pandemic. And this guy was speaking in the clip. He was speaking on these brain chips in these animals and how they were causing tumor growth, cancers. You gonna tell me the Bible isn't real? Revelation 16:1, and it says, "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image." A grievous sore. They're telling you that when they did these experiments, these brain chips and these animals, there was a grievous sore, a tumor growth, cancerous sores. You have been warned. You niggas that will take this chip inside of you, implant this chip inside of you, thinking that, you doing something. And the rest of us are either going to get delivered, or some of us may get our heads chopped off. We may get killed. We may be martyrs for not taking the chip. What you niggas don't realize is that you taking this chip is going to cause a cancerous sore, a grievous sore, as it says in Revelation 16. I hadn't brought that out in a long time. To be honest, I think the last time I brought this out was during the rollout of the vax, the jab. This is happening in the background. Trump signed an executive order, as you heard in the clip, to fast track 6G. The last clip was the Nokia CEO, and he's on record for saying this, and they removed his audio and the post, but I caught it back in 2022. He was basically saying that by I forget, I believe back in 2022 he said by 2028 he believed that people would be microchipped by then. And this clip, he was the last person speaking. He said by 2030. The CEO of Nokia, by 2030. What have I been saying this whole time? The elites of Esau want their new world order in place before 2030. Which means there's probably going to be a heavy push towards the microchip before 2030. Executive order by Trump already being pushed while we're focusing on the Epstein files and the U.S. and Iran going to war and all this. Look, the microchip is the main focus. Nothing's going to move until that happens. Everything else wars and rumors of wars. That's cute. That's fine. I like, okay. And I like to see it. No, don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it sound like I'm just dismissing what's happening. All that's fine. Ramping up war, good. But the microchip is the main focus. That's the telltale sign that we're truly at the end. We're at the seconds now. We're at the seconds mark. It's a beautiful thing, man, to know that this is happening, but it's happening in the background. You're not hearing this on mainstream media. They're talking about an interface. An interface. No more smartphones. You will become the smartphone. You will have direct connection with 6G. That's the idea. Not a phone in your hand. Looking for, making sure you got a strong signal. No, you will be the signal. You are the interface. You are the interaction with 6G. That's the plan. And notice it's 6G. Right? Why is it 6G? Why is 6G when the mark of the beast going to come? Look, y'all got it. Y'all can figure it out. We done went from 1G, 2G, 3G on up, all the way to 6G. And now here it comes. You had the pandemic with the 5G. They made you take the shot, the vax, the jab with the 5G. What do you think they're going to do with the 6G? Think about it, man. Think. 6 is their number. I looked up the word, the words grievous sore in Chat GPT, and this is what it said. The phrase grievous sore appears in the Bible, specifically in Book of Revelation, and it says the meaning of grievous sore. Grievous meaning severe, painful, distressing. Sore meaning an ulcer, wound, or festering lesion. And it says noisome used with it in the KJV equals foul, harmful, or loathsome. I know my accent can throw you off. It says so a grievous sore refers to a painful, severe ulcer like wound, often understood as a divine plague or judgment. So that's what's coming. You're going to have to make that decision pretty soon. Some of us will make that decision. Well, will we rather die like a martyr, get our head chopped off or killed, however, whatever way they put us to death, or we take the microchip, the mark of the beast, the microchip, and receive that grievous sore. Cancer. That's some shit, man. That's a hell of a way to go out, man. But we're gonna stay on the mark of the beast. This was posted on X in response to that clip that I played from Nick Holsker. He writes, President Trump recently signed a directive to accelerate 6G deployment. And you just heard that in the clip. President Trump recently signed a directive to accelerate 6G deployment with a stated goal to operate implantable technologies. To operate implantable technologies. This is what's happening, y'all. In the background, while you worried about can the Gentiles make it and can the Gentiles be saved, as these niggas over there in the Genesis, Hakar and Hassad, over there playing around. This is what's happening. You better get your shit together. Implantable technologies, right? The goal is to operate implantable technologies. This will likely involve an AI brain implant known as the biological interface system to cortex. And it's called BISC. BISC. Biological interface system to cortex. Developed by Columbia, Stanford, and the University of Pennsylvania. Meanwhile, thousands of studies have already linked 5G and EMFs to DNA damage, neurological injury, and cancer. I will not be taking the 6G AI brain chip. That's what Nick Holsker wrote. I will not be taking the 6G AI brain chip. But the scriptures say it causes all, both small and great, free and bond, rich and poor, to receive it. So somebody's going to take it. You know, you hear a lot of people talking shit. I ain't going to take it. I'm going to fuck that. I ain't going to take it. That's cute. That's fine and dandy. But somebody's going to take it. Someone replied with this. You know, I have to get to the replies because the replies are ridiculous. Someone said this. No one is forcing people to have brain chips implanted, and any suggestion of this is just inappropriate. So this dumb fuck, have to say it that way, is saying that no one is forcing you to take a brain chip. Nobody's telling you you have to take a brain chip, right? Just because it's not mandatory now doesn't mean it won't be mandatory later. He says no one is forcing people to have brain chips implanted, and any suggestion of this is just inappropriate. And he says technology such as Neuralink can be a godsend for disabled people. And if other people choose to get an implant, well, that's their choice. So this dumbass doesn't get it. And he's saying, you know, this is technology. This is great for disabled people. And of course, that's always at the forefront of this. But what about the disabled? What about the handicapped? You know, I had an ex, and this is an ex from a long time ago. I spoke with her, I want to say, this was, no, it had to be 2021 because this was during the jab thing. She got in contact with me. And my exes do this shit. Whenever some shit pop off, they call me out of nowhere. She's a nurse. And I mentioned the jab, and she was like, "Oh, well, anybody doesn't take it, you're stupid for not taking it." And then I mentioned y'all forgive me for my rant, but I mentioned the Pentagon's health monitor. The Pentagon has a health monitor, an implantable health monitor under the skin that they brought out back in 2021. This was like February 2021, shortly after Biden was sworn in. The Pentagon went on, I believe it was 60 Minutes, and they introduced this health monitor, an implantable health monitor under your skin. It was like it was a device that they can implant under your skin to monitor your health, to check your blood sugar, levels and just, monitor your health. And I brought that out to her. I showed her the video. I texted to her. And you know what she said? She said, "That's a good thing." She didn't really have much to say. She just said that's a good thing to try to, talk shit to me. Now, if you knew her like I know her, when she got some shit to say, she got some shit to say. She likes to talk shit. But she didn't have much to say. It was just, that's a good thing. Meaning, I know that you're right and that these people are pulling out this mark of the beast, this microchip. But fuck you. I'm just going to say it's a good thing because I hate you, nigga. Type shit. But this is the attitude of these people, man. And so when, we always talking about the mark of the beast, the microchip, and we like, how the fuck would anybody be stupid enough to take it? But just look, this is the mindset of people. I have another one here real fast. Forgive me for my rant, y'all. I got this from Sirius on X. Guy goes by the name of Sirius. Anyway, it says the mark of the beast has always been tax. So he's saying taxes is the mark of the beast. This is the stupidity that I'll be talking about. People are brain dead, stupid, and retarded. He says the mark of the beast has always been tax, meaning taxes. And then, oh shit. Then he writes, even Jeshua, he didn't even write Joshua. He wrote Jeshua, meaning Jesus, right? Which we know is Yahweh Shah. He writes, even Jeshua punched the tax collectors in the face. This turning of cheeks was fabricated. Jeshua was a violent man against evil. And he's talking about when Yahweh Shah went in the temple and overthrew those tables. Those people were making merchandise out of the house of the Lord. But anyway, man. So then there's a reply here. Damn, if that wasn't bad enough, there's a reply here from somebody that goes by the name of Peaceful Warrior. He writes, why is it so difficult for folks to use a concordance like this guy's supposed to be deep, right? Why is it so difficult for folks to use a concordance and use the original language to properly translate the true name of Christ into spell casting English? And then he writes this. He says his name is Yahusha. So I guess he's fact checking this guy named Sirius, Peaceful Warrior, says his name is Yahusha. Learn it, forget it not. Aren't you glad the Lord gave you the truth? As bad as it is, and as much as I hate this goddamn place, I still have to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Kahallah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. I still have to. Someone writes this. The right hand or the forehead are symbolism for your physical labor or your intellectual property. People do not understand what the mark of the beast is. And you have Israelite leaders who are preying on these people. That's why Bishop Nate says you can call the Lord whatever you want to call him. Yo, what did he say? Yo, play yogurt? Am I tripping? Didn't he say that? He said something like that. Didn't he call the mark of the beast an embargo? And I don't even mean to talk about them niggas like that. Like, but it just came up in my, in the spirit, in my mind. It just, they prey on people like this. Like this guy, Peaceful Warrior. He called the Messiah Yahushua. He called himself fact-checking the other guy. And then the guy, the post underneath that one, he's talking about intellectual property. No mention of the microchip at all. It says, I'm going to read it again. It says the right hand or forehead are symbolism for your physical labor or your intellectual property. No mention of the microchip. Meanwhile, in the background, the Trump administration is rolling out 6G, implantable devices. And you telling me we're not at the end. You're telling me I'm crazy. The shit ain't about to hit the fan. I've been saying it's the calm before the storm. All this time, I've been telling you. And you've already seen a dry run for the mark of the beast, which was the jab. And I told you that was just an exercise. Mike Pompeo, who used to be a part of the Trump administration, said it out loud during the pandemic that this was a real live exercise. This was a military operation. Trump said it was Operation Warp Speed, and he called back generals that had retired to roll out Operation Warp Speed, the jab, before he left and Biden took over. And they tried to force people to take it in order to enter facilities. And you had to show proof of vaccination in certain cities in America. And just because it didn't happen in your city, nigga, it don't mean it didn't happen. Because a nigga gets stupid. Well, it didn't happen in my city. Bitch, you the motherfucker. It wasn't in your goddamn city, but it happened in New York. It happened in D.C. It was a trial run, a test run. Because this 6G rollout won't be like the 5G. 5G was the test run. This 6G is the real shit. No man will be able to buy or sell, save he have the mark of the beast.